having parents asking themselves, what is wrong with all these kids? What is up with all these kids? What is happening with the generation that we are in right now? We forget to understand that most of us, especially with the generation, let me say the the Y generation. Okay, first of all, before I go on, let me explain what is the difference between generation X, generation Y, and generation Z. We had one of the young man come to explain to us last time what is the difference between this generation, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so he talks about that. He told us, he enlightened us, saying that the generation X is old, like the 50s, the 1960s, born 1960s, 1950s, 1970s. Okay, so they have their own the kind of mentality, why? Because they did a lot of invention. They invented a lot of things because they did not have a lot of, like the way the children of these days, they have internet. Now the Z generation have internet, they have everything. Let me say everything what the generation X did not have, like the lifts or the possibilities of having internet all over, and possibilities of just having information handed over to you, because the X generation had to really find information for themselves. So we talked about the encyclopedia last time, whereby that was a book that was really known by then. That was a Google. That was their Google, like on the 1960s. So that is what they were doing when they were doing any kind of research. They had to find it. They had to do it a hard way. And we also find out that these people, they, especially now because we are doing about the African guides for kids, okay? So we are focusing more on the cultural part. So on the cultural, they had to go through every tradition thing that was supposed to be done. For example, if they had to go and what do you call, like finding or collecting wood, finding or collecting water, finding or collecting, clothes to wear or something. And they had a lot of, the cultures, traditions, they really took them serious, okay? Some of them were hard because, let me say, culture, it doesn't come on a silver spoon. I ain't going to lie about that. I don't want to sit down and say, nah, culture is it's something just, just soft or smooth. It's just a way of you just sit there. It comes in a very differently. It's just put differently, okay? In this way, that if you are having any kind of initiation, the bleeding has to take place. There are some things you have to do. Maybe for the men, they had to go to the forest, they had to go and find an animal, they had to prove their manhood, they had to prove, oh, I can do this, and they don't prove it by just sitting down and giving out the information that is just there. They had to find it in a very hard way. So let me say, traditional, they did not have they did not have it handed on a silver platter, okay? So they had their own way, kind of hard way of living. Then it comes to generation Y, which happens to be us. And with us, at least the generation X had promised themselves, they had promised that, oh, we're going to make it better for my generation. Like the way we say, oh, when I grow up, I do not have any shoe to wear. I'm going to make sure that my child wear a better shoe or a shoe. So that's what most of the generation X did. They made sure that the generation Y had it better. In this way, if it's like those traditions, they were like, hey, I suffered, to go in the night to go and find firewood. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that my child does not have to go and fetch firewood, okay? My child does not have to go and fetch water. My child does not have to go and find something to eat for themselves. My child does not have to go and do the initiation that takes place. And that's why you find most of the generation today, they don't understand what is a party after circumcision. What is party after, or what does this initiation mean, okay? So it's the fact, it's a mentality that really changed. It's this way they say, oh, I'm going to make sure that my child has it better. I'm going to make that she have make more softer. But we forgot that not everything that really seems right is right. Not everything that is legal is morally right. You know, for the generation X, they saw, oh, tradition is not really important, but they forgot that was what would teach us to be morally right. With more, we're going to discuss more on that. I'm going to tell you, for those who are listening, in case you just want to do any kind of advertisement, make sure you contact us, Radio RFM, because we do all of advertisement. Just like I said before, we on our social media platforms. We have the Radio RFM on Facebook, Radio R 99.2 FM on Instagram, Radio RFM on YouTube, Radio RFM on TikTok, and on Twitter. We are as well activated with Radio RFM. We have also our website on www.cradior.com. Make sure to just click on listen live, and you're going to get us one-on-one whenever, in case you just want to send any kind of information to us, or you just released out a song, or you just want some products to be out there and do any kind of advertisement. Make sure to just contact us on Radio RFM. In Germany, we are in Stuttgart Strasse 16A 70190, Stuttgart, Germany. In Nairobi, we are on Cottage Haven. That is in Kilaleshwa. For more details, just check on our link below. And as well, we have our email address that is on radior1923@gmail.com. We also as well have a telephone which is +49 here in Germany, +49 163 7286 You can contact us for more information.
Station with the best music.
I love the music.
Oh yes, I got you, baby. I'm telling you, #1 African station. For Afronews, Afrobeats, and the world hits. Here's updates happening around African countries and interviews and experiences of Africans and their friends living in Europe and all over the world. Most of you are asking, why can't we say this in Germany? I'm telling you, Europa's Nummer 1 Radio. For Afromusic, Afropop, and worldwide hits. There's actually ereignisses in African London. Interviews and Erfahrungen von Afrikan und ihren Freunden, die in Europa auf der ganzen Welt leben.
This is your #1 radio station.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio R.
This is all the hits.
All of African music.
This is the African Guide for Kids Show by QV.
Yes, and this is African Girl. African Guys for Kids Show with me, Queen Victoria, your host. And we were talking about the generation XYZ and why we tend to not understand the generation that they are right now, okay? So like I was saying before, it's just a matter of, oh, I will do it better. I'll make sure that my children have it better. Okay, and that is what a lot of parents did not understand, and that was a mistake that most of the parents did by saying that, because the moment you say, oh, I'm going to do it better, you tend to break that child's lineage. in this way lineage, I mean like you tend to forget about the culture, the most important thing, which is culture. Because first of all, we all know you have to know where you come from before you get to understand where you are going. Isn't it? Isn't it that right? Yeah? You have to understand, who am I? And by understand who you are is to know where you come from. Okay? The moment you understand where you come from, you'll know, okay, at this particular moment, I'm supposed to do this. At this particular moment, I'm supposed to do that, you know? And then you'll know, why am I doing that? Yeah, okay, by knowing where you are doing, by knowing why you're doing that, that means you understand where you're coming from and why that they had to do that, okay? So back to it, like I was saying, is that most of the Generation X thought that by making their children not, I will put it in the exclamation, not exclamation, like on these things they call the upper commas, I not want my child to suffer. That is where we lost, or the generation lost the track. Because there were some like things like, oh, why do I have to call my child after my daddy's name? Why do I have to call my child after, I don't know, my grandmother? Not forgetting that, and not remembering that before you got that name, or before you are in that lineage, is that that name was sacrificed for. Okay? These names do not just come anywhere. You know, the other day I was actually having a talk with a German person, and we were talking about their names. Where do they all those names come from? There's Müller. There's what do we call Schuster? There's this I don't know. You know, they have their names. There's Koch. There's they call it Beckerein or something, and then there's you know, they have their names, and all these names, we were talking about it, and the person was like, every name have a reason, has a meaning behind it. You know, when you go to Müller, it's a Miller. You know, Müller, the person who does the production of flour. You know, there's Schuster. Schuster is a person who is in charge of the shoe. There's Koch. Koch is somebody who cooks, you know. And there's Schmidt. There's all these names. Oh, every name has its, where it came from, why it was there. And they have not yet stopped. They have not stopped to use these names from the generation. And if you check, we were talking deeply in this way, that if we check that name, where it comes from, all this lineage is one. When it comes to Müller, there was only one Müller long time ago, and then the Müller married, they intermarried, they did whatever they did. You know, the family went on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's why they went on and they became just like the way the roots, they just grow. They're having more baby roots, and the baby roots having some more baby roots. Generation after generation, they used that name, and that's why you'll find a lot of Müllers around. And there's the Schmidt, there's, I don't know, the Kling. So it came from somewhere. The same case applies to most of the Africans, is that our name, no, for the German, there were no sacrifice, there were nothing, there was no initiation that took place. But with the African names, there were a lot of initiation which took place. There was slaughtering of the sheep. There was the celebration on celebrating of this certain name for every certain child, yeah, at that particular moment. The moment now for us, or the Generation X, when they grew, or when they came up, they saying, oh, I don't want to give my child that name. Oh, I don't want to be involved with this family. I don't want to be involved. Then you end up not giving your child that name. You're making your own generation, which is okay, but you have to take that point, or just be the one to go and ask for permission, because like I said, this is something which is deep rooted, okay? And not only that, I'm not only talking about names. There's something that we do like traditional wedding. There is, for example, the Kikuyu, we have the Rorashios. So with that, we also have to understand that this ratio, it has its own meaning, okay? And ratio is the paying of bride price. A lot of people don't understand, they don't get the meaning of that, but trust me, it's very, very important. If like we have people who intermarry, there are some steps which have to be taken. Intermarrying, I mean, from one tribe to the other. There are some things to be taken serious, like if you are marrying someone from another tribe, there's that blood which has to be poured, an animal blood, not a human blood, okay? There's some blood that is supposed to be poured. There's this on the other end. This person has to do some initiation when it comes to the parents of the child or of the woman, okay? So they have to be activated all the way. They have to do all these things. The thing is, a lot of people have the fear that, they're going to need, a lot of cows, a lot of, sheep, a lot of money. But you just find out that as a parent who really understands with the economy, as a parent who really loves the child, the slightest thing or the fact that you're taking that respect to go and introduce yourself to this parent is actually the most important thing, okay? And not only about intermarrying, there are things like with the child of initiation, there's circumcisions that go on, yeah? Lately, of course, we've heard of the FGM. However, with the FGM, we came to find out that it's doing more harm, yeah, than good. Okay, so there's some things, of course, we totally understand that they bring a lot of harming, a lot of distractions of the human body. Those ones are the things that we really avoid. Like any things like circumcision of a young man, it's very, very for me, I find it very important. Okay, because it's about health, it's about loving that child. So it's about showing that child the roots. Okay. And then, and now you find out that most of the parents will be like, me, I'm not going to bring my child to that, And then we tend to wonder, why is our generation Z like that? For more, just make sure you join me on this for more talk after this. But before I go there for a break, there is this guy with his name is Galaxy Inc. Graphics. In case you need any kind of graphic design services, make sure to contact us, or on the Facebook you can go to Galaxy Inc. Graphics, or on Instagram Galaxy Inc. Graphics for all your creative designs and branding, events, posters and flyers, company profiles, business cards, logo designs, roll-up banners. Make sure to contact the graphic designs, and that is on the Galaxy Inc. Graphics. Make sure to just stay tuned for more.
Everybody gets high sometimes,
We gon' start this thing go right. Say what? Got the guns out in the house tonight. We gon' start this thing go right. Say what? We got the ATL in the house tonight.
You're listening to only the best internet radio station in the world.
Are you living in the diaspora? Oh yes, 99.2 FM, Radio R.
This is your number one radio station.
Stuttgart, Mannheim, Ludwigsburg, Kassel, Tübingen, Heilbronn, all the way to Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, East Africa combined. Canada Richards and Divino Richard tunawaletea muziki ya kinyumbani.
Tena na tena na tena na tena.
The underground radio station.
This is Radio Ara. This is all the hits. All of African music.
This is the African Guide for Kids Show by QV.
Yes, with that topic, the Generation X, Y, Z, we were talking about what happened, what made them to be the way they are, what made them to feel the way they are, what made them to feel that they're entitled to what they do today or what they demand from us, okay? I would say, just like I said before, it was, I would say, our mistake. By this, when the moment we said, oh, I'm going to make sure that my child gets better education, I'm going to make sure that my child has it better, I'm going to make sure that my child does not go through some pain. With life, there's something that I came to learn, that with that pain that you go through, it makes you learn a lot of mistakes. I'm going to make an example, very, very simple example. When you get burnt, you know, when you're cooking, or let me say, let me not put about cooking, because maybe some of us don't cook. You're giving out some money, or you're going to buy something, and you know, we in the supermarkets these days, they are different shelves, so for one product from different companies. Okay, you find, like here in Germany, there's then there is Real, then there is Kaufland, then there is Lidl, then there is you know, whatever, and then after that there are different companies from different different products from different companies, which if you don't look properly, you know, with the arrangement of this one product at this particular row, if you don't look properly, there's some, they're given different price tags, okay? So there are those who are high, it's the same product, having the same milligram, like say, for example, rice. The rice from here, it costs like, I don't know, €1. Then there's a price, there's a I don't know, basmati rice from I don't know what company. It costs €2. Then the higher you go to the higher shelves, it's like €10. Okay, now I'm just exaggerating a little bit, but let me say it's like €10. Okay, so the first time you go and you say, I'm just going to take any rice, and you know, they make it easier for you such that what you see like on your eye level, it's more expensive by the, if for those who don't know, what they put on your eye level, you know, to make you lazy, so that you don't go down, you know, you don't bend to go and look the product that is down. So they just make it easier. So you just take it and you just go and say, let me just pay it, and I just finish, okay? Then somebody comes and tells you, wow, you bought that product. Oh, me too, I have it, but not from that company. And it was, you know, and then you'll be maybe complaining, maybe it was too expensive, it's €10. And then the person will be like, what? Did we buy the same supermarket? And then, you know, and you know, they tell you, no, I bought it for €1. What? At the same supermarket, at this row? Really? I did not find it. Hey, you must be lying. Okay, then you had time to go and you go back and you find it for real. If you just bend just a little bit, kidogo tu, just bend a little bit, you'll just have found that €1 product, which actually, most of the quality is almost the same. Really, it's the same, or there's no difference. I'm going to tell you for real. Or maybe those supermarkets that you go, or shoppings that you go, some are very expensive, some are exorbitant, some are very, very affordable, okay? But however, if you find out, oh wow, if only I bent just a little bit, I would have gotten it at a very affordable price. Now, I'm just making the most luxurious example. Of course, there are very painful examples out there when it comes to life. So, the thing is, if you do not have the pain of giving out that €10, and now later on finding out, you know, that process of finding out you should have bought something €9 less, it just paints you, and then it gives you a lesson. Bam! Next time I'm going to do it better. I'm just going to bend a little bit. And this time you don't only learn for only that one product, you learn for many, many other products. You know, like not only rice, even sugar, even spaghetti, even oil, even water, even I don't know what, all those things that comes in life, yeah, the basic needs. You find out that you're going to do it better next time. And that is what it is with the generation. We don't want them to pass through the pain. Where else, through that pain is when that comes lessons. Through that pain is when that comes, I'll do it better next time. Through that pain is that they will know, they will strategize themselves to get to a better, they will learn a better lesson for life. And that is a mistake that us, the older generation, are doing. And that's why we see what is wrong with all this younger generation. Okay, next time we'll be joined by the young man. He's going to tell us more about the generation XYZ. I remember last time he said the X generation is something to do with computer. I'm not good with names because where he was so, these kids were anyway. So, yeah, and so that campaign that we say, oh, I don't want my child to pass through that. There's some campaign whereby you just let a child pass through. Really, for me, I think it's very important. Just let that child go, wake up very, very early in the morning and let them take the train or let them walk by foot so that he understands the joy of being carried by that car or being dropped at that car. Let them wake up in the morning and find their own mistakes. Let them wake up and know the traditions. Let them go through that so that they understand it. Okay? A lot of people, we think we are doing our child's good, but it's not good at all. We are doing more harm than good. Maybe you might be asking, what is all these things that you want my child to pass through? You don't know how much I suffered when I was young. So I did not have t-shirt, I'm not talking about things. There are things really, when it comes to shoes and food, hey, kama God amekubariki, if God has really blessed you with those basic food, Biko, don't make that child, don't deny that child that chance of food. Kwanza food, don't even try. Yeah? But I'm talking about the basic things in life. Let that child learn. Some of us, I've seen, especially here in Germany, I've seen a lot of parents saying, oh, I don't want my child to wake up very early in the morning. I want her to sleep at least the extra 30 minutes. For what? Let that child wake up at 6, whatever time that they feel they are fit to be. Let them go and practice and prepare themselves. Let them take their time. With time, they will know how to regulate it with how they are growing. Okay? So that we don't come again and say, what is wrong with this generation? This is QV or Queen Victoria with African Guides for Kids show. Make sure to join me every Saturday at 3 p.m. here, Radio RFM, home of African music. Remember, you can join us on every social media platforms. That is on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter, and as well on the website, which is www.cwr.com. I was a little bit too fast. Yeah? Okay, yes. Please join me every Saturday so that we can talk more about this, so that we can talk more about the XY generation. Where did we go wrong? Next time we'll be joined by the young man who is going to tell us more on that. Make sure to join us here at Radio RFM, home of African music.
Only underground radio station.
This is Radio RF.
This is All the Hits.
All of African music.